The lights dimmed inside the Olympic Stadium in Moscow, July 21, 2018. Nearly 25,000 fans packed into the arena, their voices echoing like thunder. On one side stood a Ukrainian maestro, a southpaw genius with the footwork of a dancer and the mind of a chess grandmaster, Oleksandr Usyk. On the other, Russia's fearsome puncher, a silent storm with the power to end a fight in one punch, Murat Gassiev. This was more than just a fight. This was the grand finale of the World Boxing Super Series, a tournament designed to crown one king in the Cruiserweight division. And on this night, history would be made, because for the first time in nearly a decade, the division would have an undisputed champion. The bell rang, and immediately the contrast in styles was clear. Usyk circled to his right, flicking the southpaw jab with surgical precision. The crowd roared every time Gassiev edged forward, but his punches fell just short. Usyk's footwork dictated the pace, frustrating the Russian early. The Ukrainian took control with movement and volume. Usyk's jab became the story. Like a snake striking, it snapped into Gassiev's guard, disrupting rhythm before the Russian could even set his feet. Gassiev, known for patience, stalked with menace, waiting for the moment to unleash his right hand. But every time he planted, Usyk had already slipped away. The Russian crowd urged Gassiev to let his hands go, and finally he did. A short right hand crashed onto Usyk's guard, and moments later, a hook thudded to the body. It was the first glimpse of danger. Yet Usyk responded instantly with a three-punch flurry, punctuated by a left cross that drew gasps. The chess match was heating up. By now, Usyk was flowing. His combinations came in torrents: jab, straight left, pivot, jab again. Gassiev swung heavy, but each miss sapped energy. Usyk's corner urged him to keep turning, keep moving, and he did. Gassiev's frustration was visible as the crowd grew restless. Suddenly, Gassiev landed his best punch of the fight, a booming right hand over the top that snapped Usyk's head back. For the first time, the Ukrainian looked tested. The crowd erupted in hope. But instead of folding, Usyk answered with a dazzling four-punch counter combination, circling out and shaking his head as if to say, "Not enough." It was a pivotal moment. The storm had been weathered. Usyk took control. His jab was constant, his feet always in motion. He threw punches in bunches, never allowing Gassiev to reset. Each time Gassiev lunged, Usyk met him with a jab crosshook, spinning away before the Russian could retaliate. The Russian corner grew concerned. Abel Sanchez demanded more aggression, but Gassiev could not find the target. A hush fell over parts of the Moscow crowd. They had come expecting a knockout from their hometown hero, but instead, they were witnessing a masterclass. Usyk's confidence grew. He even dropped his hands at times, inviting Gassiev forward, then punishing him with sharp counters. This was vintage Usyk. He unleashed volleys of 5, 6, 7 punches at a time, never with knockout intent, but with surgical precision. Gassiev was forced to cover up on the ropes, absorbing shot after shot. The Ukrainian fans in attendance began to chant, their voices cutting through the Russian crowd. By now, Murat Gassiev looked like a man chasing ghosts. His face marked, his output dwindling, he followed Usyk in circles. The contrast was stark: Usyk, bouncing and fluid, versus Gassiev, plodding and desperate. The referee watched closely, but the Russian was too tough to break, still standing, still hoping for one clean punch. Usyk turned up the tempo once again. Another flurry, another pivot. The crowd, recognizing brilliance even against their own fighter, applauded the display. Usyk had turned the Moscow cauldron into his own stage. Round 12. The final statement. As the last round began, Gassiev's corner knew only a knockout would save him. But Usyk never gave him the chance. He stayed disciplined, circling, peppering with jabs, and refusing to let the Russian plant his feet. When the final bell rang, Usyk raised his arms, not in arrogance, but in triumph. He knew he had just delivered a performance for the ages.